Hi, and welcome to CABE 2017 with Velazquez Press. We are joined here today with Dr. Maria Quezada. Maria, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Very nice to see you. You are the recipient of the CABE 2017 Social Justice and Community Voice Award, correct?
Correct, thank you.
How does it feel to receive this award?
It's very rewarding, to have your work acknowledged, to know that your trajectory in life has validation, and it's a really nice thing to receive from colleagues that have worked alongside you.
Tell us about a memorable experience at CABE.
A memorable experience at CABE? Well, there's been lots. I led the organization for as president for 4 years and then 12 years as CEO. And so there's lots of good memories of coming together and hearing those marvelous speeches like the one we heard this morning and just being excited. CABE conferences have always been a place where we come and we get re-energized for the year. And we go out there and we do battle, and it's always been that, even from when I was a teacher, when I was a director of programs, and working at the university and all of those things. And it's memorable experience would be, the 227 campaign and the 1998 conference in San Jose, where we raised $180,000 at that conference, and closing that door and saying you can't leave. If you can afford a drink, you can afford a donation. So only have 2 drinks tonight. And then all of our members stepping up, and if they had timeshares, they gave them up, and we raffled them off, and it was just an overwhelming sense of community and a sense of we're in this together, and it was we were in this, even if we lost the initiative battle. I think all of the things that we've been able, Californians Together and CABE, to do is through the experience of we can't disband. Our kids need us more now that the initiative has passed. And so from 6 organizations, now there's 26 organizations working together, and I think that's what made POP 58 possible. It's every single one of them, the commitment and the level of commitment to our kids. And so that's always the highlight of everything that we do.
And now that 58 has passed, what is your goal or ambition for multilingual and multicultural education in California and in the United States?
My very first ambition, and something that has always dogged us, is the lack of teachers. And so creating more opportunities to find the right kinds of teachers to be in those multilingual classrooms, because it's always been that challenge. I was part of a group of 30 students back in the 70s, the mid-70s, that came together, and we had worked as paraprofessionals, we had worked at preschool, but we came together at that time to create more teachers. I think we need to have many more efforts like that. That was the first time that CETA funds at the national level were used for a teacher training program. They usually use it for mechanics and fry cooks, but it had not been used for training teachers. So we need to get creative and look for ways. I was just in Tijuana last week, and we're looking at ways to have like a binational teacher training, because Mexico is getting our deported kids, and those kids speak English. And so now what we have to do is they need to learn English, the teachers, so that they can have bilingual programs, as our programs are here. And we need to have teachers learn Spanish, academic Spanish, a teaching kind of Spanish. So I think it would be the best of 2 worlds. And so that's the challenge for today, is first of all, the teacher shortage. It's always been there, and how do we, in a community, in a state where 54% of the kids in our schools are Latino, and we can't come up with teachers? That was one of the conclusions of my dissertation was, it's criminal that in a state where we have so many Spanish speakers that we cannot fill that shortage, which Spanish was 80% of that shortage. So that is the first step, and then again, working with our community, our parents, to really get them to realize, they've been sold a bill of goods that English is the end all. And now we have to change that mindset and say, no, English is important, but your language is just as important. And what you give to your kids in both languages is where it's at. So that's been a challenge.
And what's fascinating is the fact that the research is there to prove the benefits of honoring the native language as well as learning English at the same time.
Right. Well, it's been much stronger because now neuroscience has stepped into the battle, and that shows. I mean, greater mental flexibility, greater longevity, greater, Alzheimer's delayed, and all of those benefits have helped. And I think our work earlier work, beginning in the 1990s, of putting together some really powerful programs in dual language education. In the state, we had the first time we got Title VII grants, there were 10 of us in the state that did that. I did the first one in Orange County, and so their kids are now kindergarten through 12th grade, or actually it's preschool through 12th grade now. And so, to see those programs and to have them know that both populations benefit has really done a lot of really great PR. And, we started with 28 children, and now, it's still there. And so that's always really important, to leave a program there when you leave, is to...
Did you ever imagine this grand impact that you would have on education when you were teaching?
I did a little bit, and in fact, that concept of bringing in English-speaking parents, when I taught, it was the old 1/3, 2/3 classroom. 1/3 of our students had to be English speakers, so I did Spanish as second language. And then we did, I was doing my master's at the time, so I was looking at the different models and the importance of separating languages. And so I would have, only a time for, the calendar, the songs, and things like that would be in Spanish, so everybody could learn them. And then, of course, they would split into the groups, into their own language groups. But when I saw how proud those English-speaking parents were that these kids could sing the songs in Spanish and that they could say the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish, I said, that is a trigger point, that we have to, that we don't have to battle bilingual education if it is a benefit for everyone. And so if we promote it that way, I think, we'd have better results. And look at it's come about.
Yeah. It's such an honor to speak with you, Dr. Quezada. Thank you so much for joining Velazquez Press at CABE 2017.
Well, thank you for having me here, and thank you for always being there for CABE also.
Thank you.